Caribbean Today is delighted to introduce Mr. Oral Patrick, who claims to have survived 9/11 twice. He's here to share his story and his remarkable healing journey, where he reveals in his book how he transformed his life after that tragic event. Welcome, Mr. Patrick. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you very much, Miss Janet. And I want to say big up to the Caribbean Today news magazine.
Yes, thank you. All right. So we're happy to have you here and to hear your story. Okay. Now, please tell us, right? Please start by telling our viewers what happened on the morning of September 10th, the day before that tragic day, 9/11.
Yes, great question, Janet. On September 10th, I worked in the World Trade Center on One World Trade Center, the 83rd floor. I worked as a system engineer, and I've been working there for a few months. I came in at 8 a.m. on that morning, and shortly after reaching the office, my manager called me into the office and said to me that they are downsizing, and I happened to be the first one to be let go. So he let me sign my paperwork and I left the office.
Just like that, huh?
Just like that.
Okay. Now, right, I'm sure it's still unbelievable to you what happened on 9/11, but can you tell us about that day, the next day?
Yes, certainly. I left the office that day and I went back home in New Jersey. So the following day, 9/11, I said to myself, I need to get out back to look for work. So I armed myself with a bunch of resumes and I jumped in my car and head towards downtown area. As I drove on the New Jersey Turnpike trying to get into New York City, I looked over to my right and I saw that there was a bunch of smoke emanating from the towers. And I said, oh my goodness, this is so ironic. I left this place less than 24 hours ago and now smoke is coming from the tower. So I turned on my car radio to find out exactly what was going on.
Right.
And the announcer said, it seems as if a small plane ran into the building. Later on, we find out that something more sinister was at play.
Wow. Okay. So, all right. Well, you went back to the site, right? What was called Ground Zero to volunteer your services along with others.
Right.
And give us a picture of the area while you were there and what you actually saw.
Yes, as I was going towards downtown 9/11, I could not get too much closer because they had barricaded the area in order to facilitate the EM and emergency vehicles. So I turned back and I went uptown and stopped in a deli, and there I saw the other plane hit on television. We were all watching television in the deli. And the announcement, and I saw the other plane hit. Then I saw the building literally collapsed before my eyes. It was so incredible.
Can you imagine?
I just imagine
that. Surreal. You couldn't believe it.
It was so surreal. I thought I was seeing like a movie or I thought I was seeing a movie and I was saying,
me too, when I saw it on TV.
Yeah. And I said, oh my God, I wonder what's happening to those people out there. My heart was broken and I was saying, oh my God, whatever happened to them? And I started to pray for the people that were in the tower.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, it was the most devastating thing ever. I mean, in all the world, you know? So what were the danger and the risks that was involved in being there at the site? Because you went to volunteer.
Yes.
And yeah, so while you were there, you became ill.
Yes.
The toxins,
Right. I left that 9/11, I went back home, but within a week, after listening to the news story, I decided to go back down and volunteer to
Yeah.
assist search and recovery effort. Because,
Okay.
I got to find out what's going on with, my ex-co-workers, with my friends
Mm.
and my family that were in the area.
Yes.
Because it was difficult to communicate because the cell towers were down. So I went back within a week to assist. And at first I thought it was safe because they said the smoke had drifted and died out.
Right.
I was there, and after a few months, I realized that I started to develop some skin issues and breathing issues, difficulty seeing. And I
Mm-hmm.
said, oh my God, I need to get medical attention.
Yeah.
So I tried to get medical attention, but the doctor gave me like antihistamine and they gave me prescription drugs over the counter.
Yeah. Oh
It,
my
it
God.
was only, you know, taking care of the symptoms at first, but it wasn't getting
Yeah.
part of the problem.
Right. So tell me, describe all the symptoms that ailed you. You know.
I had a breathing difficulty. I had difficulty breathing noticeably after a few months of being there.
Yeah.
And there were skin rashes, arms, neck. My
Jeez.
eyes were noticeably foggier than usual. And,
Right.
beside the internal trauma and fear that was affecting, us collectively.
Because so many of the others, some volunteers really got sick and some even died, right? From
Sadly,
being there. Yeah.
sadly, many
Yeah.
years transition, many of
Mm-hmm.
these survivors transition just being exposed to all of that
Yeah.
toxins from a smoke from the buildings that were.
Yeah. So sad. So you said that regular medical methods, was not helping. So you decided to see help alternative doctors,
Yeah,
medical practitioners that provided alternative care, right? So
correct.
so
Yes,
tell us about that.
yes. Conventional medicine was not working the way I think it was, and
Yeah.
I was told that there's just certain things you would have to live with. But when I start to research about conventional medicines, when I start to read up on natural healing, I
Hmm.
discover the power of rest and healing, and I experienced that. Resting the body, the mind, and the spirit allows the body to come back to a state of balance and homeostasis. And when
Right.
the balance body comes back into that state of rest, then it could
Hmm.
actually take care of the toxins and remove the toxin from the system.
Yes.
I coined it as the trifecta of restoration of healing. And it's
Mhm.
the basis of healing, it's the beginning of healing, rest. Rest is the beginning of healing. And I
Yeah.
call it rest in your body, your mind, and your spirit. And in my book, I've outlined many techniques to rest the body, the mind, and the
Yes.
spirit. And one of each I'll reflect on. For the body, I speak about restorative healing by fasting, intermittent fasting
Yes. Yes.
from food, and that energy that normally goes toward digesting food would go towards healing the body.
Yeah.
Healing the mind involves meditation and being in a place of gratitude on a daily basis. And
Yes.
resting the spirit involve just authentically and sincerely embracing and accepting who you are and who the creator
Right.
is. And that puts you in a state of rest and peace that brings.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So you wrote a book, right? Which I think is a very remarkable book. I mean, it's the most informative medical book I've ever read. I'm not
Wow.
kidding. I'm not making it up.
Oh my God. Thanks for saying that. Thanks for saying that.
Yes. The book
Yeah.
is titled Restorative Healing Begins with Rest,
Yes.
right? And I would recommend it. You hear it from me, right? Now tell us what inspired you to write this book for us.
Yes, Janet, that's a very good question. After one fateful week when I was so weak and I thought I would die, I was experiencing financial difficulties. I didn't have been hearing story of, you know, volunteers dying. I thought I would die, and I lay in bed. And after about a week, I got up one morning and I find that I was energized. I found out my skin had started to clear up. My breathing was cleared up. And within several weeks after that, I kind of maintained the regimen. And finally, I was healed and started to go about my life. So my friends and my family saw me. They haven't seen me for a long time. And then they said, wow, you look so different.
Nice.
Yeah, wow. So I said, I rested my mind, body, and spirit, through intimate meditation and self-acceptance and other techniques in the book. And at this point now, they said, can we try it? They tried it and they found that it worked very well for them. So they said, listen, you need to document this. You need to write this in a book such that we can get it to other people and that this with others. So that was my inspiration for writing the book.
Wow, I'm telling you. So, so you were saying resting and fasting.
Yes.
So when you say to rest and shut down, like shut down the spirit, mind, and body and just lay in bed, right?
Yes.
Rest and fast, which is, I mean, I guess we'll have water and, light foods, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, I read the book and I agree with it. Yes, now you say the body has an innate ability to heal itself. And yeah, we all know that. And rest is the key to restoring health. It's like rebooting the system,
Yes.
right? I thought that was very interesting. Now, if you could talk to us about all the components, which is mind, body, and spirit. I enjoyed reading each section, each chapter that talked about the body and its various, organs. And then there was the mind, which you spoke about, that you said that music is medicine, for the mind. It produces opioids that calms the body. It was so interesting. Can you tell us about, each part, mind, body, and spirit, and what each one does, separately? Like, break it down for us?
Yes, I definitely could give that breakdown. So to begin with, the body is the foundational hardware for the system. And it begins, for instance, with sleeping. During sleep, for instance, the brain cleanses itself, and it takes 7 hours, for instance, for this cleansing process to take place.
Okay.
When we don't get enough sleep, you cannot truly function, as we all know. So resting, beginning with sleeping, is important. It's also important to rest the body by staying away from junk food and overprocessed food that basically overstimulate the body and brings it in a state of agitation and disruption and unrest. So when we keep those food out by going through a period of intermittent fasting, of course, with the advice of the medical profession, then we are able to realize the body coming back to a state of balance and the hormone levels start to be at the right levels again. So that is how you rest the body. The second element of it is resting the mind. And I keep on saying that no matter how well nourished your body is, if your mind is worried, if you're troubled, if you're feeding your mind with a lot of fake news and about corruption and crime and killing, then your mind cannot truly be at rest. And because the mind is at rest, the mind then controls the body, because as a man thinks, it's going to be translated in your body and in your health. And so it's important to do daily meditations with gratitude. And I find that that practice of just meditating and being in gratitude settles the mind and in turn settles the body. Another important element is the spiritual rest. And I term it the spiritual rest because it gives us a chance to authentically embrace ourselves for who we are. It gives us a chance to acknowledge what the Creator has done in our life. And when we do that, we can find new life, we can find new level of appreciation, and we can truly connect to our families and friends.
Yes, okay. I understand fully. Okay, now I liked in chapter 3, which talks about the spirit, right?
Yeah,
That element, section 3.6, Dance of Bliss. I
yeah,
found that to be very interesting. I did, okay? Um, and if I could quote from the book, you said, when the body is rested, we experience bliss as pain-free, agile body. And we're
correct.
all striving for that, right? And when the mind is rested, we experience bliss as peace and tranquility.
Mm-hmm.
When the spirit is rested, we experience bliss as a connection to the superconscious self.
Wow.
My gosh, so interesting, so deep. Now,
Yeah.
the essence of bliss is not to want to be somewhere else, but to be present in the moment, right? Which
Mm.
is in the mind, body, and spirit.
Yes.
Yes, great. I think that is so interesting. Your book, I enjoyed it, and as I said, I would recommend that book. You spoke about a lot of things that will be of such interest to a lot of people, and you broke it down simply
Yes.
enough for us to understand. Yeah. I'm happy that you're alive. And of course, we're sorry about those that perished. And then you got well after you got sick. That's wonderful. So yes, you guess you did survive 9/11 twice.
Yes, I did. Mhm. I survived 9/11 twice, and I say to myself, there must be a reason, a purpose for me to
Yeah.
experience. And I'm glad and decide to share my account with my friends and family, and
Yes.
see that they could experience restoration too from things that they're going through in their personal life, in their
Yeah.
life, in their spiritual life. They can be a turnaround, because
Hmm.
the turnaround, after that, God changed my mind, my body, my spirit, my finances, my family. Everything came back together, and I'm filled with gratitude. And now I'm sharing the good news, and I'm watching people in my community experience the same thing.
Yes, through your knowledge, right? Through your book and through your experience.
Yep.
Now, the name of the book is Restorative Healing Begins with Rest,
Yes.
and we can pick that up where
Um,
at
Here is the book,
yes,
Restorative Healing Begins with Rest. This
yes,
can be obtained on Amazon.com. It can be
y-
obtained on BarnesandNoble.com. There's
yes,
an Audible version. There's also a Kindle version, so you can pick up the book. Additionally, you could go to my website, which is oralpatrick.com. That's like ORALPATRICK.com, and you can
okay.
go pick up a copy or get instructions for that.
Yes,
Again, the name of the book is Restorative Healing Begins with Rest,
yes.
and it's subtitled How I Overcame Breathing Difficulties and PTSD After 9/11.
Yeah, okay. Wonderful, wonderful book. Now, let me ask you one last question. How do you memorialize 9/11 every year?
It's it's a sad time for us, and as we remember 9/11 after 23 years, there's a sense of remorse for what was done. So
Mm,
I typically will go down to the World Trade Center site. And
okay.
as you know, they, at least the local station in New York, New Jersey area, they broadcast the ceremony where they call the names of the victims, and
Yes,
go down there sometimes and just look at the water, put a rose of
yeah.
prayer for
Mm,
the folks that have been affected. And so that's how I basically spend 9/11 on a regular basis.
yes. Oh, you must be grateful. You talk about gratitude in your book, and I like that chapter. Everything perfect. Everything you said it perfectly. So, well, I think that's it, Mr. Patrick.
Awesome. Thank you very
So,
much to me. And if I may add, the community can find me on social media, on Twitter, Instagram,
Yes,
Facebook, with my handle,
Instagram.
or Patrick. So feel free to look me up and get additional tip on how to rest and heal the body.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Well, thank you again, and hope to be in contact with you again real soon. I
So
wish you all the best.
thank you, Janet. And I would like to say big up to the Caribbean Today News magazine and
Thank you.
my PR person, Sure Thing PR, and David Aaron over there. Thanks for having
Yeah.
me. God
Yeah.
bless.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye now.